Your mind essentially has two distinct parts. You have a conscious part and a subconscious part. If you could imagine a large iceberg floating in the ocean, the conscious part of your mind is literally just the tip of the iceberg. It could be probably about 5% of the iceberg, but the majority of the iceberg, or 95% of the remaining iceberg, is unseen. It's below the water. It's behind the scenes. So the conscious mind is your waking mind. Your conscious mind is your logical thinking mind. And the subconscious mind is what is behind the scene. Your heart keeps beating all day. Your lungs are functioning. Your digestive system is working. Your nervous system is functioning efficiently, right? You're able to breathe. And thank God it's not the conscious mind that's in control of those. So your subconscious mind is so powerful. The beliefs and identity that you have stored within your subconscious mind that is creating the reality around you. So let's go over a brief history of how your current identity was created. So during your early childhood years, you could say probably up to the age of 6 or 7, your mind was basically just the subconscious part of it, okay? Because your conscious mind, the conscious portion of your mind, the critical thinking portion of your mind, the analytical part of your mind had not developed at that point, or was still in the developing phase. Your mind depended on your subconscious to kind of run your life, to make all the decisions of your life. Now, during those early years, your brain typically operates in either the alpha or the theta frequencies, okay? Now to give you a basic idea, your brain goes through various different frequencies while you're waking, during your waking and your sleep states. Most of your waking time is spent in the beta wavelength. Okay, your brain operates at a beta wavelength frequency, which is about 30 to 30 hertz. So this is where you're wide awake, you're making decisions, you're alert, you're doing pretty much everything you can with a logical, analytical mind. So this is where your conscious mind comes in. So what happens is that all your 5 senses, the senses that you have, they basically go out and gather data. Okay, like the eyes, they see, your ears, they hear, right? They're all externally focused. They gather the data, and the conscious mind analyzes this data to make decisions on what to do next. So that happens in the beta frequency. Now the alpha frequency is kind of when the conscious mind is very relaxed and the subconscious is easily accessible. Now the alpha and the theta frequency is one level below alpha, okay? This is where the conscious mind is pretty much, not awake, okay? And you have full control of your subconscious mind. Theta is from 4 to 8 hertz, okay? The alpha and the theta frequencies are usually accessible either in a hypnotic state or in a very deep meditative state. And the last frequency is delta. This is way deep in sleep. That is kind of very low frequencies of 1 to 4 hertz. Okay, so that was just a quick rundown of the different frequencies that your brain goes through. Now, as I said, during those early childhood years, since the conscious mind was not fully developed, the subconscious or your brain was essentially operating in either the alpha or the theta frequencies. What that meant was that you were almost like a sponge. Okay, your mind was just like a sponge. It was pretty open, okay, because there was no logical or critical thinking faculty there, okay, which could stop things from getting into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind was very open to suggestion. It was completely influenceable, if there is a word like that. That was the time where you are soaking up all information, okay? And where do you soak up information? From those near and dear ones to you, from your parents, from your teachers, from society at large, from your friends. You model them, you see them, and those ideas, those thoughts, those words that expressed in your house or in school, they directly go into your subconscious mind. Okay, because there is no gatekeeper. It just seeps into your subconscious mind, and the ideas that you listen over and over again. Okay, maybe in some households they they probably mention stuff like, money doesn't grow on trees. And that expressions like that seep into the subconscious mind. And if you keep hearing that expression again and again, that hardens into a belief. The same could happen for a health area, right? Like if you come across someone near to you, having a heart attack during those early years, that could leave a lasting impression on your subconscious mind, maybe a fear related to health or something like that. Okay. In the same way, relationships, if your parents did not have a loving, strong relationship, that also seeps into your subconscious mind. Essentially, you were just soaking up information during all those years. And it's almost like a hard drive of a computer. When you get a new computer, you program the hard drive of a computer with what you want. So in this case, the neurons within your brain are forming connections, right? And the neurons form connections when they sense new data coming in. Okay, so they form connections, and the more those same ideas, those same thought patterns come in, the connections get stronger, and they get stronger and stronger over repetition. And that's how beliefs are formed. When the connections harden, they become beliefs. So that's how you start creating beliefs about every area of your life, about money, about relationships, about health. Okay, and you're essentially creating a program in those early years, a program that will literally run your life for the next so many years. Okay, because you are in that impressionable state. Literally 20 years down the line, if you have issues with money, with health, with relationships, you can always 99% of the time, you can go back to this particular time frame where those beliefs were created. So that's how critical that initial time period is. It's very important to give a positive, loving environment to kids during those early years, because it literally creates an identity within them that they carry over the entire life. Once you get a little bit older, your conscious faculty has developed. So you now have a logical, critical reasoning capability. And then the conscious mind becomes a doorkeeper, a gatekeeper to your subconscious mind. So any new ideas, any new thoughts have to be ratified or have to be given a green signal by the conscious mind in order to get into the subconscious mind. So it's nearly impossible to get anything into your subconscious mind without the agreement of the conscious mind. But there's a catch here. The problem here is that your beliefs have already been created during those impressionable years. And since these beliefs have been created, even though there is an illusion of free will, okay, that you have a conscious mind, you have a logical thinking capability, but what most people don't understand is that that's just an illusion, okay, because the subconscious mind has those deep-rooted beliefs that have already been formed. And what happens is that the conscious mind looks at everything with a filter, okay, with a filter of beliefs. So essentially, the conscious mind is not looking at everything. It is filtering it out. It is filtering out those ideas and thoughts and experiences that conform to those existing beliefs in the subconscious mind. So you're not getting the complete data set. You're only getting a biased data set. Okay, a biased data set in the sense, a data set that conforms to already existing beliefs and feelings in the subconscious mind. So your conscious mind will only let those particular beliefs, those particular ideas, those particular thought patterns to seep into your subconscious mind, but that goes and strengthens the already existing beliefs. So this is kind of like a vicious circle, okay, where where your conscious mind is kind of like wearing blinders, okay, because you have a belief about money, that money is hard to come by. So you are going to neglect all those opportunities that might bring you money, okay, because you are wearing those blinders, you're wearing those beliefs. So you will filter out, you will filter out data sets, you will filter out experiences that will conform to those beliefs that yes, money is hard to come by. Yes, so you will bring in circumstances into your life that will confirm again and again to the fact that yes, money is hard to come by, and that is again going to feed into your subconscious mind and strengthen the beliefs, and there is no end to it. Okay, so essentially your identity becomes so hard, right? Your identity is locked now because there is no way to exit it. So what's the solution to this? So the way to reprogram your subconscious mind is essentially the same process that we used to program it in the first place. Now, if you remember, there were two key things that happened during those initial childhood years. Number one was the fact that we were able to access the alpha and theta frequencies in order to impress ideas into the subconscious mind. And number two was repetition. Those ideas and stories that got repeated, the experiences that got repeated, essentially hardened into beliefs. So we will follow exactly the same process to reprogram our subconscious mind. Now, number one, how do we access the alpha and theta frequencies? As I mentioned before, these frequencies are typically accessed either in a hypnotic state or when you're in deep meditation. But there are two other times during a 24-hour period where we have access to these frequencies. The first one is when you wake up in the morning, okay? The time when you have just woken up, when your conscious mind is still relaxed, you're kind of in a drowsy state. That is one of the times where you have access to your subconscious mind. The other time slot where you have access to these frequencies is just a few minutes before you go to sleep. So this could be 5 to 7 minutes before you drift off to sleep. So during that time slot, the conscious mind is again relaxed because you have entered the alpha wavelength and the conscious mind has dropped its guard and the subconscious mind is wide open to be impressed. So we will take advantage of those two time slots, right? Just when you have woken up in the morning and just before you drift off to sleep. Now we will focus primarily on the time before we drift off to sleep because I feel that we have more control during that time period. How do we do this? The solution to this is to establish a nightly routine. We have heard of morning routines and they're well and good. Morning routines help you to set the tone for the day. But a nightly routine will change the course of your life because it will change your entire identity if you follow an established nightly routine. So what does a nightly routine comprise of? Number one, turn off all your electronic devices. Get off your computer, your iPads, your phones. Just turn them off. Number two, start dimming the lights. There is a reason why we are doing this. With so much of technology available, the body finds it hard to understand the distinction between light and darkness. So there is a gland called the pineal gland that is just behind your third eye. So the pineal gland is responsible for regulating your sleep and waking patterns and also the circadian rhythm within your body. Now, the pineal gland senses light or the absence of light in order to release a hormone called melatonin. Now, melatonin, this hormone, when it's released, causes you to fall sleepy or makes you drowsy. Okay, so during the daytime, when the pineal gland senses light, it suppresses the release of melatonin, and that's what keeps you alert and you're able to do all your daily waking activities. But when the sun goes down, we still have lights on, okay? Either through the regular lighting in the house or through the lights that are coming from your electronic devices. Those photons are still hitting the retina in your eyes, okay? So the pineal gland has no way to identify if it's day or if it's night. So it doesn't release melatonin. What happens is that, we usually go from beta to alpha in a very rushed manner. You're basically on your computers, on your phones, just before you start sleeping, and then all of a sudden you turn off your phones and go to sleep. And the pineal gland has to release melatonin, which will start making you sleepy. But that is not the most efficient way to go from beta to alpha. Okay, you want to do this in a very gradual, more efficient way. So 1 hour before your sleeping time, let's turn off all the electronic devices. Let's start dimming the lights. This sends a signal to the pineal gland that it's time to start releasing melatonin. And once the hormone melatonin is released, you naturally start feeling a little bit drowsy and you're getting ready to sleep. Okay. Now, the third thing that you can do, which I usually prefer, is to listen to some sort of a soothing music. Or if you have access to high frequency music, that's even better. But the whole point is to gradually go from a waking or a beta to an alpha frequency. So now, just before you start drifting off to sleep, you could start visualizing your goals, or you can start affirming your goals. I usually like to create a small scene. It can be just 5 to 10 seconds. That scene represents the fact that you have achieved the goal that you want. And you could visualize that scene over and over again. And you want to feel the same emotions that you would have felt if you would have achieved what you want, because emotions are the language of the subconscious mind. Remember that the subconscious is connected to the heart. Now, here's one thing I want to mention. The subconscious is very powerful, but there is one loophole that we can take advantage of. So the subconscious mind does not have the ability to distinguish between a real event and a fake one. So when you visualize in the present tense that you have already achieved the goal that you want, and if you bring up those corresponding emotions, the subconscious has no way but to accept that as true. It may not happen on the first instant, but if you keep doing this, the subconscious will eventually believe that. And the fifth point is repetition. You want to kind of repeat this. You know why? Remember how you formed your existing beliefs through repetition. When those same stories, those same ideas, those same thoughts got into your subconscious mind, the neurons within your brain made connections. So that is exactly what will happen when you keep repeating your nightly routine, when you keep repeating your visualizations, your affirmations with emotions. The neurons within your brain are going to form connections. Okay, and those connections are going to get stronger, because the more and more you repeat it, the same familiar connections will get stronger, and new beliefs will get created, which will override your existing beliefs. And the other thing is that this will also create an aura around you. Now, you might ask, what is an aura? So, every person has an electromagnetic aura around them. Electric from the brain, because the brain sends electrical signals, so it's electric, and the heart is magnetic. Okay, the heart is magnetic. It's emotions that basically magnetize what you want towards you. Okay, so at the end of the day, we all have an electromagnetic aura around ourselves, and what this routine is going to do is going to change your aura. It's going to change your aura to conform to your new story, your new beliefs, your new goals. Because these visualizations that you're doing with elevated emotions are going to change the aura around you. And the universe will reflect back circumstances that align with this new aura. It will connect you to people and events, that will bring into motion a bridge of incidents that will lead you to your desired reality. There is no doubt about it. Try this nightly routine for at least 30 days. People that are close to you, they will say that there's something different about you, because there is something different about you. You have a different aura. I hope this video helped you, and please do try this and let me know what changes have happened in your life. And thank you.